When you picture World War II, what comes to mind? Towering tanks, maybe, or roaring fighter planes. But some of the most dangerous and critical missions of the war weren't fought in armored beasts, or from the sky. They were carried out on two wheels. Motorcycles were the unsung heroes of the battlefield, delivering urgent orders, scouting deep into enemy territory, escorting vital convoys, and moving troops to places no truck could ever reach. Today, we're taking a deep dive into every major motorcycle that served in World War II, nation by nation. Let's start with the United States. The absolute backbone of American military motorcycles was the Harley-Davidson WLA, affectionately known as the Liberator. Over 70,000 of these rugged, reliable, and easy-to-maintain bikes were built, becoming a global symbol of U.S. wartime mobility for allied forces. A close relative, the Harley-Davidson WLC, was a version built specifically for Canadian and Commonwealth forces, adapted to fit British supply standards. Then there was the rare Harley-Davidson XA. Designed for desert warfare, it featured a flat twin-engine and shaft drive, heavily inspired by German BMW designs. It was a fascinating machine, but only about 1,000 were ever produced. Older, heavier models like the Harley-Davidson U8 were also pulled into service, primarily for military police and towing duties. But Harley wasn't the only American player. Indian also supplied several key designs. The Indian 741B was a lightweight solo bike. It was dependable but often criticized for being a bit underpowered. The Indian 640B, based on the popular Scout model, offered much better performance but arrived late in the war. The most ambitious was the Indian 841, featuring a longitudinal engine and shaft drive perfect for hot climates, but its production was ultimately cancelled. However, Indian's heavy sidecar machines, the 340B and 344, saw widespread use with British and Commonwealth forces. The US also fielded some truly unique vehicles, like the Cushman Model 53 airborne scooter, a tiny machine dropped by parachute for paratroopers, and the Simplex Servicycle, used mostly for training and duties back home. Now, let's turn to Germany, a nation that fielded some of the most technologically advanced military motorcycles of the entire war. The legendary BMW R75 was an engineering marvel. With its driven sidecar wheel and exceptional off-road performance, it became an icon on the brutal Eastern Front, but it wasn't the only BMW in service. Earlier models like the R12 and R71 were used extensively across all fronts. Across the Channel, the United Kingdom prioritized simplicity and unwavering reliability. The BSAM-20 was the heart and soul of the British dispatch forces, with an incredible 126,000 units produced. It was tough, dependable, and got the job done. The Norton 16H also served extensively, proving its worth particularly in the harsh desert campaigns of North Africa. For heavier tasks like towing and sidecar duty, the British turned to the massive Norton Big Four. British airborne forces had their own special ride, the Royal Enfield Flying Flea. This tiny, lightweight motorcycle could be dropped by parachute right alongside paratroopers. Another standout was the matchless G3L. It was one of the first military bikes to feature telescopic front forks, giving it superior handling that made it a favorite among its riders. Other key British machines included the Triumph 3HW, the Ariel W&G, the Velocette Mac, the clever folding well bike designed for commandos, and the lightweight James ML. In the Soviet Union, the approach was defined by pragmatism. The Soviet M70 became the Red Army's primary heavy sidecar motorcycle. Its design wasn't original. It was based directly on the German BMW R71, often armed with a machine gun. These rugged sidecar rigs became a common sight across the Eastern Front. Other Soviet machines, like the TIZAM-600, PMZA-750, and various lighter models built by ISH, all emphasized simplicity and the ruggedness needed to survive Russia's harsh conditions. Moving to the Pacific, Japan's standard heavy motorcycle was the Rikuo Type 97. If it looks familiar, That's because its design was based on licensed Harley-Davidson blueprints from the 1930s. Japan also used other machines in more limited numbers, such as the earlier Type 93 and the unique Type 95 Kurogane, a three-wheeled vehicle with a distinctive reverse V-twin engine. In Italy, one name-dominated military motorcycles, Moto Guzzi. The Moto Guzzi Alta was the primary military bike for Italian forces serving across North Africa and the Mediterranean. Its unique horizontal single-cylinder engine made it instantly recognizable. But other Italian manufacturers contributed as well, with designs like the Benelli 500 VLM, the powerful Gilera Mart with its shaft drive, the Bianchi Super Militare, and specialized folding airborne motorcycles like the tiny Volugrafo Airmoto 125. Finally, what about the other nations drawn into the conflict? France fielded a variety of machines from manufacturers like Gnome Rain, Terret, Peugeot, and René Gillet. After the fall of France, many of these bikes were captured and repurposed by the German military. Belgium used motorcycles built by the famous arms manufacturer F, and Poland relied on its heavy Sokal machines before being overrun, while neutral countries like Sweden and Switzerland produced their own rugged domestically designed motorcycles suited for their harsh mountainous terrain. World War II motorcycles were so much more than just transportation. They were lifelines. They were fast, flexible, and their riders were often completely exposed to enemy fire. From the blistering deserts of Africa to the snow-covered forests of Russia, these remarkable machines carried messages, men, and weapons across every front of the war. Though often overshadowed in history by the titans of tank and air warfare, motorcycles played a critical, demanding, and undeniably heroic role in shaping the outcome of the modern world. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into military history.